Hey Hind, and welcome to MyCodeTips. Okay, today's video we'll see how to handle errors. Okay, normally whenever we do some codes or coding stuffs, some logical errors, some syntax error, compile time error, runtime error. Okay, there are errors occurs because of some syntax error. Most of the compile time error you can see when your application is on build mode or compile time. Okay, but the error occurs during the execution of the code, like logical error means divide by zero, error character not found, item not found, index is out of index, item is out of index, means you are looking for 10th index and but the array consists only 9th index. So obviously these type of errors. Then problem is how to handle in Objective-C, how to handle. Okay, in normally we do two things. First is either you can handle through NSError and through try catch. But before I proceed to the try catch or NSError, I suggest you to always try to check and balance your coding patterns. Coding means execute while executing your what are the plans or details or analysis. First thing is that code accepts null, is that code accept the counting part, means or is there any loop where you are executing through loop where counter needs. So these are the small steps you can avoid the errors. Sometimes the loop will execute in the infinite loop, or you stop and break outside of that loop. So I suggest to use check and balance, means either check your class object or data is either null or not null. If there is null, then handle your null object as per your requirement. Okay, so this is the final part. Error handling is not a solution because it also consumes the resources. It also to execute this, it also consumes the resources, memory allocation, obviously also time consuming. So this is not the solution. To avoid this, I suggest to handle these are the, suppose like test, I am looking at the test. So if I character index is 6, so if I normally what I'll do, if test dot count test length is greater than 0. Okay, then I'll enter in this block. So what happened? So it will always checks is the test length is greater than 0. If yes, then enter. Otherwise, if I will not check this point, this will definitely throw an error, because look at this, character at index 6, but my string has 4 characters. Okay, if suppose if there is null, then or if there is no data in the string, then what happened? Obviously this to avoid this occurrence, error execution, try to minimize, to use try and close, try and catch. But that is the another part, that is the second part. So point is how to handle errors. So look at this, this is a test case. Okay, so here it will definitely throw an error. Okay, in this case what will happen, it will look for the character at the index 6, but there is only 4 characters, 6 characters, so it will go to the this one and it will log the error, whatever error. Okay, and if you specify your error type, then go to the description or version or the name, whatever. Okay, and finally execute. And so this one is the one part. Another part is NSError. NSError is the you can say that is the part of Objective-C information. Look at the what are summaries. Information about an error condition including domain specific error, and application specific information. Domain specific means which application you are working, what are the bundle identifier if you are specifying, or is there any different frameworks you are using. Okay, this one, this specific Objective-C method can signal an error condition by returning an NSError object by referring with provided additional information about the kind of error and any underlying cause. If one can be determined, an NSError object may also provide localized error. Localized means you can say that described in a described manner, means specific manner. Okay, these are the look at this. NS match error domain, POSIX, POSIX error domain, to match NS error domain, POSIX and carbon errors. These are the error object, NS error object. Okay, so parent is obviously an NS object. All the NS class or NS series as the parent is NS object. So here this is a specific class. Okay, simple class get info. If this will not found, okay, then it will return an error. What these are the specific error. Okay, what specific error? Go to this one. Let's see. Okay, this domain I have mentioned. If there is any specific, you can mention that. Okay, that's well and good. Error pointer is -11. Localize description keys, this one null. A custom error you can define and return as a string. Okay, so these are the basically two. Okay, one more thing, how it will handle your error. Okay, let's go to it. If your ID is perfect, then error. If ID is 2, then it will definitely throw this one with error pointer 101, with error pointer 101. Okay, if error, if there is any error exist, okay, then otherwise this one, finding name 2 or finding name 1. So these are the two custom type. There are two ways to handle your errors. One is try and catch block, another is NSError. If you are not mentioning, suppose if you are not going to mention or something in this one, then it will show your default error, default patterns. Okay. One more thing, NSError. Let me jump to this one. Okay, reserved, code, domain, and user info. These four information will be provided by NSError. Okay, what is the error code, what is the domain, what is the user info? Code is nothing but this one. Domain cannot be null. Okay, domain cannot be null. Dictionary may be null if no user info is desired. This one. Okay, basically moral of the story is only two ways. Not only there are these two ways you can handle your error, but I suggest to, before going to handle error, that is the last stage, before going to handle error, check your object conditions, or check and balance your nil objects, and not zero, not empty not empty strings. These are the small steps where you can avoid the error logs, or you can decrease your chances to get any error. If you set some conditions, then you are minimize your number of errors. Yes, sometimes, some cases, yes, there errors will occur, sometimes it will not occur, but this is the best way to handle error in Objective-C through NSError or try catch. Okay, I'll try to implement this one on while we'll do JSON parsing or FMDB database, or database manipulation, database data insertion, or crude rule, so that you can better understand how to handle NSError and try catch. Okay, this small information will help you something, get some better idea. Okay, thank you, bye.